voiceover Violet here to tell you all about the Halloween crafts that my mom and I did. So for the first craft, instead of carving pumpkins this year, my mom and I decided to draw on them with some Posca pens. If you don't know what Posca pens are, they're paint markers, and they're very nice for, blocking in nice bold colors. They went on very smoothly on the pumpkins. They were a little wet, but I was kind of expecting that since, they don't have anything to soak into like paper. They also dried a bit longer than usual, which again was expected, but it actually worked out perfectly. And there's also the plus side where if you mess it up, or if you mess anything up, you can just wipe it off with your finger, which definitely messed up a few times. My mom's pumpkin is a cute little witch cat, and my pumpkin is based off of the little pumpkin dudes from the TV show Over the Garden Wall. We also made a few accessories for our pumpkins. My mom made a little witch hat and some cat ears on toothpicks that she could just push into the pumpkin. And I made a little, I guess you could say like a vine, because pumpkins normally have vines, and a little brown leaf. The vine was made with some twine that my mom has. She has a lot of twine. And I wrapped it around a pencil covered in plastic wrap because I did not want to ruin the pencil, and I painted glue on it, and then it actually turned out pretty well. There was a lot of glue strings all over it, but for just like a little extra thing on a little pumpkin craft, I thought it looked really good. For the second craft, we carved potatoes. That might sound a little weird, but when they're baked for many hours, they look very spooky. They get all like dried up. You'll see, but they look kind of spooky. You can also do this with apples, which is interesting, and it's probably a lot easier to carve into apples. And then you can just eat the excess pieces that you carved off. Maybe I'll try apples next year. My mom and I each had 2 potatoes to carve. I actually chose a pretty small one for the first thing that I made. We both carved skulls. My skull looks like a little raisin because it shrank during the baking process. And I made a vampire as well, which I'm not super proud of because I'm not the best sculptor. I don't have much practice at it, but I think it looks a little creepy. And my mom made a really, really cool witch. She's a lot more experienced with sculpting, and our stuff turned out really good. We also ended up painting them. I also added some blood to the vampire's face. We stuck toothpicks in their faces as well for teeth. We didn't really do that for the skulls. We kind of just carved the teeth out. We added hair to the vampire and the witch. My mom made a little witch hat for her witch out of craft paper. For our last craft, this one is the simplest, we made little window decals with cut paper. And pretty much just cut whatever you want that's Halloween themed out of paper. I did a lot of bats and stars and a moon. My mom did some pumpkins and skeletons. And I also did a potion bottle, which I'm pretty proud of because I thought of it myself and I thought, I think it looks pretty good. And we have like a big roll of paper and we cut out like a big piece of it and cut out some really fun ghosts that kind of look like they're peering out the window. I thought that was really cool. After cutting out all the paper, we just taped it to our windows and it looks really cool. Unfortunately, I don't have that much footage of me actually making my costume, and I apologize for that. I got really into it, and I kind of just like didn't really think about recording it. But my costume is based off of an old Windows computer from like the 90s, because I think those are kind of cool and weirdly aesthetically pleasing. The costume itself is actually based off of a character that I drew in my sketchbook that I thought looked really cool. It's also based off of the little computer that I have in my sticker sheet for this video. I pretty much just used a box and stacked a lot of cardboard around the edges to get the frame of the front of the computer. And then my mom and I conveniently have this giant sheet of plastic that I used for the screen, so there's reflection on it. And then the face behind it is just black and white paper. And I added a sticker to the side of the computer and added ventilation in the back, as well as some plugs, which I just used old headphones that don't work anymore, and I cut them up and glued that. Eat it. He licked it. Roger, you can't lick it. You can't lick the potato.